So hey, listen, it's Wednesday. It's time for some spicy stuff. And I was trying to think what would be a good story to cover today. And then this just the weirdest stuff started happening. That is the only appropriate way to attack this. Here's a mutant. This mutant, for the rest of time, you will not be able to buy. It has been burned. It's been sent to an address where you cannot reclaim it. This thing is worth 21 ETH. Think about what you could do with 21 ETH. I've got the hiccups. How fundamentally stupid that is. That's not the only story we're going to be covering. We'll be looking at Merit Circle's announced Sphere gaming items. Today, seriously. It's so stupid! It's so stupid! Why would you do that? Anyway, we're going to be covering Merit Circle. We're going to be covering Gala Games blockchain game Gripped, which is going to debut on the Epic Games Store. And when we come back, hopefully the hiccups would have gone and we can get into the insanity. It seems to be a blockchain gaming week. On Friday, we'll be covering the massive amounts of money A16Z, Andreessen Horowitz, has been investing throughout May in the Metaverse and blockchain games. It's going to be the biggest story of the decade. And hopefully all of this goes away and we can actually talk about it properly. Coming back after this message from our sponsors.
Acquisition Royale is a mergers and acquisitions battle royale game. You can think of it as a mix between a deflationary NFT collection and a PvP play-to-earn game. The game is developed by Pre-PO, which is a gamified DeFi exchange that gives you exposure to pre-IPO and pre-token markets like SpaceX or MetaMask. Start building your empire at acquisitionroyale.com and unlock exclusive items for your Pre-PO profile. DeFi users, you no longer need to pay expensive and unpredictable interest rates on your ETH loans. Liquidity, a decentralized borrowing protocol, allows you to borrow against your ETH interest-free. Loans are paid out in LUSD, a USD-pegged stablecoin, and need to maintain a minimum collateral ratio as low as 110%. To learn more, head over to liquidity.org/Defiant to get started and get the most out of your borrowing needs today.
All right, so before we get into the absolute insanity, which is we are all going to die, we're not going to make it, we're all going to die. Full nihilism there. Let's get into Merit Circle, who have announced that they are going to be creating a gaming asset-focused marketplace, basically the OpenSea for gaming assets. This is Merit Circle. It's a DAO that basically enables scholars to take part in play-to-earn. It's just a way of kind of connecting gamers, games themselves, platforms, scholarship opportunities, and everything you need to do to participate in a play-to-earn economy under one single DAO. And here's some of the statistics. They've got 3,750 total gamers, new gamers this month, 500. They seem to be doing really well. They're investing in play-to-earn games, basically buying up assets and then making them available to scholars to come and play and be part of a increasing gamer ecosystem. So they're very bullish on play-to-earn, as some are and some aren't. They see plenty of signs indicating it's merely a matter of time until AAA game developers will adopt play-to-earn and NFT mechanisms. So they recently just announced Sphere. So they have the circle, which is this kind of virtuous circle of how gamers, game developers, NFTs, people who buy the NFTs can all participate together in one wholesome economy. Sphere takes that circle, makes it three-dimensional. And this for them is a key piece of Merit Circle's role in what they see as kind of the emerging metaverse, professional gamer or professional kind of gaming potential in the metaverse. So essentially it's a marketplace for gaming assets. That's basically what it is. The problem is they say is that OpenSea, given that it's kind of like eBay, you can just get anything you want there, and it's very difficult to find the items that you want because discovery is so terrible on OpenSea. So unless you really know what it is that you want and it has a blue check mark, it can be very difficult to find it. So as they say, thanks to the introduction of NFT technology, everything and anything within a game become an asset. So instead of it just being a character that's an NFT, you can have skins. And if you saw our interview with Chris Lee of Artifact, he was talking specifically about how his journey to NFTs came via very successful skins. But simply the weapon, the clothes, that an avatar is wearing, even the color of the skin, maybe you have a wrap, all sorts of different things can be accounted for as an NFT. Someone can design it, can earn a very handsome living doing just that. But you need a marketplace that can sift through all these items and deliver them up to users in a very focused way. So there's a couple of different things that they've done here. They paid special attention to areas which are usually boring, e.g. waiting for a transaction to complete, and have turned these into what they should be, moments of joy. So imagine that. You sign a transaction and it is a moment of joy. When your children are born, it's a moment of joy. When you sign a transaction, a moment of joy. I have no idea what that means. Does it mean that you get a little animation of someone dancing? That would be fun. Anyway, I'm up for whatever they tried to do here, but great. They say existing NFT marketplaces were geared towards PFP projects, generative art, celebrity NFTs, and somewhere amongst all this, the actual gaming assets players wanted to find. Watching from the sidelines, we realized that someone had to step up and take the lead. It was time for a change. I have this internal philosophy of be the one, step up, be counted, take the lead. That is what they've done here. Bravo. So what else do we see here? We know a gamer cannot get excited about a chromed out, ruby-studded mace without being indulged in the game's ambiance. I mean, what? There's a lot of flowery language in this Medium post, and to be honest, I don't really think that it's that interesting. But here, we get to see a sneak peek of the marketplace itself. So it looks a lot more like a fleshed out version of OpenSea. Here we got something that looks a lot like the Netflix UI. You click through and then you see assets, and now it looks like a lot like the OpenSea UI. I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but it's kind of combining those two things. So the discovery of a game marketplace or a Netflix marketplace, and then a bit more information. It looks actually pretty decent, to be honest. But it remains to be seen how well Discovery will work. So something else I wanted to look at was the fees, because obviously OpenSea charges this blanket 2.5% on every transaction, which is just making them so much money if you think about the volume that's gone through OpenSea. And then, of course, creators have to put their own royalty fees on top of that. So Merit Circle has its own token, MC, which is how they run their own economy. And they've been trying to figure out how to return some of the value back to a seller. So if you sell, there's a 2.5% fee to the seller that will be charged in ETH. That collected ETH will then be used to buy back MC tokens from the secondary market, and those will then be reimbursed to the seller. So this mechanism will lower the fees for the seller, as 50% of the total fees paid will be reimbursed to the seller in Liquid MC, and it should then create an always-on buyer's market for the MC token itself. But of course, if you're getting free MC tokens, then unless there's something else that you can do with them, then you're probably going to sell them. So you'd have to dig into what else can be done on Merit Circle. But I think there's a few different things that can be done there with the MC tokens, so it isn't completely useless. So that's Merit Circle and Sphere, a gaming-focused NFT marketplace, and I'm sure we're going to see more of these, one dedicated to fashion, one dedicated to music. It makes a lot of sense to have those verticals collected together in a more of a curated experience, and maybe that you would have that built into OpenSea, so you could simply filter out NFTs that you're not interested in and get a much better curated experience depending on what you want. I don't know. I'm imagining some smart people are working on that. Next big news, Gala Games, the blockchain game company, says it's going to publish its games on the Epic Games Store, starting with Grit. And here we have Grit on the Epic Games Store. Now, why that's a big deal is, well, I mean, do the math. There are millions and millions and millions. I think the exact number is like 194 million users on the Epic Games Store. 194 million. So obviously not all of them are going to be interested in this. You still have to make a good game, but simply the fact that they can get it in front of this many people, well, that's quite a big deal. So here it is here. It's a multiplayer, co-op, single-player kind of battle royale shooter with lots of different types of gameplay modes. And of course, NFTs are built into it. Now, if you're an NFT gaming skeptic, then maybe you won't care. But it seems to be that the writing is on the wall already. NFTs are going to be in games very, very soon across the board, and it's going to happen really fast as well. This is the homepage for it. There's a Discord where you can get exciting grit news and interact with developers, all the different things here. I'm looking forward to playing this, actually. I want to try these games out and see what is going on there. So that's pretty big news anyway, 194 million users and just like a whole bunch of stuff. I think there was a quote from Tim Sweeney as well. No, nothing there from Tim Sweeney, but yes, big deal, and good on Gala Games for getting that to happen. It's quite a big deal. So the next story we're going to cover is this: wagdie. We are all going to die. Now, of course, one of the big memes of last year was "We're all going to make it," which grew out of NGMI, not going to make it. But now it's "We're all going to die." So this obviously comes from the Goblin Town factory. There has been so many iterations of the Goblin Town idea. Make some messed up text, make a dirty, grimy NFT collection that represents everyone's nihilistic feelings about the world right now, and then do something utterly ridiculous with it. So here we have another version of these. What is remarkable, though, 1.1 ETH floor price, but why? What have they done? Well, there you go. There is no website, Twitter and contract only, free mint, blah, blah, blah. There is no map, only death. Yes, full nihilism here. And here are some of these NFTs. They're pixelated. Do you care? Well, if you like that kind of thing, maybe you do care. If you miss the mint, you'll probably be annoyed because 1.1 ETH, well, yeah. And then things get weird. So here is the Twitter account. And I mean, yeah, this is like nothing special, except there was a Twitter Spaces. And again, you can see the Goblin Town playbook here. Listen to this. "8,000 people tuned in to this Twitter Space. Yeah, so I mean, it's very medieval and everything else. Things just got really weird, though, because we were looking at that ape. So here's a mutant ape. If we go down and have a look at the sales and transfer history of this ape, it was transferred from the Weber NFT Vault to wagdie after the Weber NFT Vault sold it to wagdie, or I should call it "We're all going to die," for 21 ETH. So wagdie spent 21 ETH on this mutant ape. Mutant apes, I think everyone would agree, are pretty valuable assets, like the number 2 collection probably anywhere in the world right now, mutant apes. But then what do? They burnt it. So there's a burn address, and here is that burn address. It's the wonderful thing about the blockchain. We can actually see what's in a burn address. So if you don't know what a burn address is, it's an address where nobody owns the private keys. So if you send something there, it can never come back. And this is one of those. So there are 342,500 NFTs in this burn address. And people just send their NFTs to this place for fun or for whatever. But it's collecting a whole bunch of NFTs. And why on earth would you send this mutant? Well, there seems to be some kind of sacrifice idea going on. If you've seen Richard Hart's Pulse Chain experiment, he gets people to sacrifice tokens from the ETH chain. It feels a little bit similar to that. And it's just very, very cult-like, this whole thing. Will you join a concord of souls, worship her, or perhaps will you disobey the logic of this forsaken world? Rest now before the cycle truly begins. The gates have opened, pilgrim. Where will you go? What allegiances will you make? I mean, it's just weird. And then there's a community-designed UI for all of this, where we can see people are sending their souls to be burnt. Now, I guess if you send a soul in and you're registered to have done so, people are expecting they will get rewarded for it in some way. Who knows what's going on here? But there are many, many, many sacrifices here. Many, many indeed. And the fact that a mutant ape was sacrificed live like this in some kind of weird art experiment is kind of strange. Way back at the end of 2020, when I created the Defiant guides to NFTs, we made a specific point about the KLF and how they burnt £1 million as an art installation. This feels similar to that. I just feel like in this day and age, this is so horribly tone deaf. Just think about what else you could have done with that money. How many good causes you could have created something positive for. But maybe that's not the point. This is pure nihilism, and there you go. But I find it hard to kind of support or think anything good about this, because I don't. I just don't. So yeah, that's it. That's all for today. Those are the hot and spicy things. I'm going to do some more Tabasco because that is how this segment works. If you have anything you'd like me to cover on hot and spicy, I'd actually welcome suggestions, because some stuff just isn't hot and spicy. But this is pretty spicy. So send them in. Get subscribed. If you want to see me smash my face full of more spicy stuff for your viewing pleasure, bring it on. I'll see you on the next one. Peace!